Hello there, thanks for tuning in again. This week on Camposol Through Time, we're continuing our journey back in history to look at more of what the Romans left around for us to discover today, right here on Camposol. So let's find out more. I'm joined today by Camposol TV's very own historian and time traveller, Antonio Hernandez Benito. Antonio, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Last week, we spoke about the general Roman impact on the area, some of the relics that have been left behind, and the infrastructure from Cartagena to Mazaron, and the roads going up to Totana. This week, we're going to go into a little bit more depth on how the Romans actually lived their lives.
Okay.
I noticed you brought some relics on the table again.
Exactly.
This is my favourite bit.
Always, all the pottery, everything that I found it walking around Camposol.
So these are actual Roman relics that have been found in and around Camposol itself.
Exactly.
Okay, under our very feet. I suppose, well, since they've built a lot of Camposol on the different sectors, there probably still is some relics underneath that they haven't touched yet.
Probably, yes, probably.
Okay.
Actually, you can find like different stones that actually the Romans used to use it to mark on the road, like distances or different like kilometers in those days still.
Like in the UK, we've got milestones, similar sort of thing.
Exactly.
Like signposts and...
See, farmers, the only problem is like farmers, they have been moving this all around Camposol, but you can find it on B sector, C sector, even D sector, those stones. And actually they used to belong to the road, as I say before. And of course you can find different other things like different like small houses or even water tanks. It's like an old water tank on B sector. Actually, it's not been excavated, and you can find around these water tanks. You can find plenty of pottery pieces of remains like the past, the history of the place.
And this links us to the past actually physically. And you're saying about the water tanks, because obviously it is a very dry area, isn't it? And I mean, how did the Romans cope with that?
Well, basically, they used to have a very similar system that we have until the 50s. Around here, we didn't have water until the 50s. And what I mean water, I mean like people, they used to depend on the water of the rain, trying to collect it on different water tanks, and as well trying to get water from nature. But as you can see, like there is no proper rivers around here. We have something that we call it Rambla, which is a dry river. And around here, especially around Camposol, the problem is like hot springs. Actually, the name of El Saladillo comes from that, from salty water. Every time that you dig on the ground, you will find, instead of like drinking water, you will find actually water which contains plenty of minerals and actually quite hot. The temperature.
The hot springs that are just down on the bottom of B sector in the woods.
Exactly.
And Saladillo, sal is that
salt coming from salt? Actually, yes.
Ah, okay.
Like little salty place, or how we can translate it in English. Okay. So the Romans, they already knew that all those things they used to have on this area. That's why, like majority of the old farms or places of the Romans actually they used to use during those days is actually on top of A sector, actually next to the hills, is where actually the Romans they found different areas where they found like drinking water coming from the hills.
What, spring water?
Exactly.
Okay, so and that was pure from the minerals in the hot springs. So that was actually pure water coming out.
Exactly. Actually, in many of them it was used until the 60s, actually for different farmers. They used to collect it and they used to have like different systems to preserve this water all through the year.
So would this water been used for irrigating the fields or drinking water or
both drinking water and as well for using for animals and as well obviously for irrigating.
Okay, so the relics you've got today, I love this one. You tell me what this has got. Tell us what this one is again.
Well, this is actually a pipe that I found walking next to one of the Roman places around Camposol. Actually, I have to say, like, I never excavate on a Roman site or anything like that.
Yeah.
On an archaeological site, I never excavate. It's just things that you can find just walking around, okay? And as you can see, it's made of pottery. I don't know what they used to smoke on this pipe or why do they use it.
Yeah, because tobacco wasn't brought in until...
From America, so
from Americans,
obviously
sort of,
no.
Whenever, about 500-600 years ago. So this is way before that. So what they were smoking, we don't know, but we don't recommend it.
Okay, yeah, but
So,
as well,
that's the Romans for you. But this is, I mean, you can actually see the hole at the bottom
Yes.
there, and the pipe goes all the way.
Think about
hole.
on the same road that actually the Romans they were using 2,000 years ago. We still using it even nowadays. So people they used to travel through the Roman road during centuries and centuries. So probably this pipe, which is I found it next to the Roman road and the old Roman road and a Roman archaeological site, actually probably from 400 years ago, 300 years ago. Someone was walking over there, and you can find different relics actually from different periods of the history on the same place.
There's the main road. We keep talking about the main road we did in the last episode as well, which took anything that was land bound away from Matheron. Obviously, the port there was really important for exporting the minerals we spoke about earlier, but also as far as food and what they ate, Matheron was really important to the Roman Empire, wasn't it?
Exactly. Actually, probably the most important product for exportation from Matheron, it was called garum, which is a sauce made of salt and fish. And somehow it's like the equivalent of ketchup nowadays. No, we put ketchup everywhere.
Worcester sauce, I think you might have mentioned.
Or something like that. Yes.
Yeah.
So in those days, actually, they used to produce a very good quality of that in Matheron. Actually, in Porto, you have a small museum where you can see the old factory
That's
from the
just
Romans.
at the back of Vigo's, isn't it? Just
Exactly.
on the front.
Yeah. Exactly. So it was quite important, and you can find actually containers of this kind of sauce all around the Roman Empire. I mean, you can find it in England, you can find it in Italy, you can find it in Egypt, you can find it in Turkey, and because the same as nowadays, when we buy a product, we know where is it coming from. The Romans used to mark majority of the products as well, like with different brands or different locations where it was coming from.
So the provenance of that sauce was Matheron.
Exactly.
And for anybody in Spain or on the mainland around this area, going up to Madrid, maybe Murcia, it would have passed through Camposol as an export.
For sure.
So
for sure.
it's a very important part of the culture of Romans back in the day.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, think about when we're talking about the road, it's not just a road where you are passing. I mean, it's a road. It means like all the trade and all the economical things are going to be through this road. Okay, so plenty of people are going to be passing, and they need a place to rest. They need a place to exchange things, because plenty of people, as you were saying, like they were coming from inland Spain or inland Murcia, and most of the times they didn't even reach the port. I mean, they were stopping near Camposol or different locations where they used to exchange different products, or they used to buy different products as well as selling.
So it was an exchange. I mean, they did have currency as well, didn't they? At the time?
Oh yeah, for sure.
But it was exchange as well, bartering
As well as
that. So you've got the lead, you've got other metals coming out of Matheron. You've got this fantastic sauce, which I'm not sure whether I'd
well, nowadays it will be
quite anchovy. I like anchovies, so I probably would.
Yeah,
like
me
it.
too. But
Yeah, so the food, they were growing as well. They were growing in the area. They couldn't grow because of the salt on a lot of the land, is that right?
Exactly.
So what was the main agriculture?
Well, it was based on cereals. Once a year, they used to grow some cereals to produce like bread. Bread is very important on the Mediterranean diet and Spanish diet. Until the 20th century, bread it was probably the most important food for majority of the population. Okay. So as well, they were producing olives, which with that, they will produce not only the olives for eating, I mean, as well the olive oil, and as well, they were producing wine, okay? So, because they were producing grapes as well. So that's why, like, it was based, all the agriculture of this area around Camposol, it was based on that, until actually the 20th century.
So really, it hasn't changed that much.
No, not really that much. I mean, we changed perhaps the way of producing that. Okay.
So was there a hub near, was there a village near Matheron, or were all the houses sort of spread out? Or
No,
how was it sort of set up?
They were spread out. I mean, the main archaeological site near Camposol is being excavated, as I said in the program before, by the Murcian University, and it's what they call it a mansio, which a mansio is like a large restaurant or a large place with beds and accommodation where people they used to stay, and they used to do as well trading, as I say, like selling, buying, exchanging. Okay?
So it's like a service station with a market on it on the actual main road.
Think about it. In those days, instead of cars, they were by donkey or horse or whatever, carts as well.
Yeah.
So the rest of the area of Camposol, they were actually farmers living separate. I mean, like somehow like insulated houses, okay, where they used to produce because when you don't have proper irrigation, you need a large extension of fields to be able to produce enough food for your family all year round.
So the plots were quite big then.
Exactly.
The areas that the farmers had were quite
Exactly.
big. Were the population of the area, obviously, Matheron's a very big town now. Puerto Matheron's very big. What was the population then and now? I mean, so we can get a picture of that.
Nowadays, the Mazaron area, the whole district, is over 30,000 people in the Padron. Obviously, in summertime, when we have all the holiday makers and so on coming, it can be like 3 times more. In those days, probably it was around 2,000 people in all the Mazaron area. So around Camposol, probably around 50 or 60 people maximum. Think about as well, the families, they were larger than now. You know, like they used to have like 5, 6, 7, 10 children, okay? And that's why, I mean, they used to manage actually to occupy the whole area of Camposol with just a few farms.
So that's it's changed a lot, but there's also so many similarities to what's happening today because the mining went on until
20th century.
Less than 100 years ago. There was
Exactly.
still mining there, which is another show. And I was the Bronze Age settlement above where Matheron was there as well. That's another show as well.
Exactly.
Because there's so much history around here. Absolute pleasure talking to you. So that's it for today. Hopefully we've answered some questions for you on the Romans, and we've got more information coming in the next one about another period of time. So that's it. Okay, tune in same time next week. We'll learn more about the hidden secrets of Camposol through time. Antonio, thanks for doing that. That was brilliant. I've learned so much as well. Take it easy, and we'll see you next time on Camposol Through Time.